items on the agenda is the consent agenda items. So that's the approval of November agenda, the minutes from October regular board meeting, and the closed session in October, and the minutes from the November 14th special board meeting, and all of the financials. So at this point, I'll be looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
So moved. Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, November payroll and
Anything else? Okay. So this will be the consent agenda items minus the AT&T mobility bills for November, correct?
Giorgio.
yes.
Heine.
Yes.
Leach. Thompson.
Yes.
Nugent. Nope, not Nugent. Young.
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
Lambert.
Yes.
Yes.
I guess so.
Okay, can I ask a question though? If we've made the motion and a second,
We have to pull anything out that's requested.
we have to.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's in our policies, yes.
Thank you. Just wanted to re-make sure.
No problem. Okay, so now I will be looking for a motion to approve the November AT&T mobility bill.
So moved.
I'll second. Any discussion? No? Okay, Dan, can you call roll, please?
Heine.
Yes.
Leach. Thompson.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
Lambert.
Yes.
Giorgio.
No.
Okay. Next, information items. North Prairie Principals update. Is that long enough? Do you want to touch more?
Good.
Same for you?
All right.
All right. Superintendent's evaluation. It's that time of year. Three of us are familiar with how the evaluation process works, so I'll go through it real quick. What we're handing out is forms. Okay. The forms that we're going to fill out, where you will rate Dennis's performance, how you feel. If you could turn these in back to me by the next board meeting. I'll put the results together, and then in closed session at the December board meeting, we'll go over all of everybody's results, basically is what it'll boil down to. And then we'll figure out a time to go ahead and deliver the evaluation to Dennis. So again, it gives you till next board meeting to fill them out. If you have any questions about it, feel free to call me or any other board member like Chris or Kristen that's been through this already, and go from there. Okay. Payment to Beach Park. Dennis, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Because of the property transfers that you saw up there, we talked about, Beach Park turned over property to Winthrop Harbor. The people in those properties were responsible for the bond issue for that, like the middle school they built. And so those properties, in effect, pay their taxes to us, but they owe a bond portion to Beach Park. And we haven't been paying that. And it would be about $20,000 a year for the last 4 years. So we owe them $78,000. And the auditors made us aware of it, and it'll probably be $20,000 a year ongoing until that middle school is paid off. Because those properties, in effect, voted for that piece of property, for that issue. So the auditors made us aware of it, and I haven't said anything to Beach Park, but I'll bring it up to them, and then I'll be recommending the board pay that at the next board meeting. So you have time to think about it, make a decision, but we owe it. If we let it go, they may not pick up on it for 10 years, but in 10 years we may owe $200,000 and have to kind of scrape it up because we're living with that outside of our means. So in effect, it seems better to pay it and get it done with, and then get back on target to $20,000 a year.
Basically, we've been collecting money that was owed to Beach Park. That money wouldn't have been ours to begin with. It's been coming to us because they pay their tax bills.
Right. Okay.
Are we able to spread it over 4 years? If it took them, I mean,
Well, it would be,
I'm still gonna be
I'm
paying
sure
them
it
almost
could
20
work
grand a
out.
year after this.
correct.
So I'll be paying 20,000 a year every year anyway. So if I spread it, you'd be saying,
Paid 40,000.
right. And then you'd probably be paying interest. Would be, I'm just, normally they do, normally you're responsible for interest. I'm hopeful that, because nobody was aware of it, that we can pay it and not be, they'll be appreciative of the fact that we brought it to their attention, and it won't be hit with interest on it. But I don't know.
I have a question about that.
Yep.
How do we begin, and is it the school board's responsibility to begin any kind of a challenge as to why people living in 60096 Winthrop Harbor who have a desire to attend our schools are being sent to Beach Park schools because it was annexed to them? Can the school, does the school board have any leverage at all? Can we as a group get together and fight that?
You have to have a unanimous vote amongst those people that are affected. So
It's-
if one person on that block says no, it can't happen.
So we could do a petition through that neighborhood and
And they
maybe,
have to be congruent.
What you want, it has to border ours. What we did, and this is a hard time to do it because everybody's short. We went to Bob DiVirgilio, the superintendent, and I'm going to say 3 or 4 years ago, and we worked a deal where we ended up with a big chunk of property. And so, to me, the best way you can do those kind of things is building the relationships and then having people who really want to, but having the relationship in place. The next piece is going to be, you're going to have to wait till the economy gets better. At the time, Beach Park was growing, meaning things like Walmart were going in and big pieces of the property were being developed, some of which were in Beach Park. So they were generating more value and they were less concerned with 8 or 10 houses or 12 houses. At this point, everybody's concerned with everything. And so now you would, and if you went and fought and they didn't want it, their board could block it. When we went last time, their school board could block it.
okay.
When we went last time, our board was in favor of the transfer. Beach Park's board was in favor of the transfer. And all the people were in favor of it, and this ROE board still didn't do it. We had to wait another month or two because they still weren't sure if they were going to pass it. And everybody wanted it. So it was, so if Beach Park said no, the ROE, I'm sure, would not be in favor of it. One of the things Rick was saying is if you have every single person in a community that wants it, you got a greater likelihood. But you still, the other boards, like right now, with everybody being short money, the ROE would be real. I would guess they would say no if the Beach Park board said no.
But is it worth a shot? I mean,
Well, but I'm
how
saying
do
that we still
feel
keep
about
doing it.
I mean,
We still keep doing what, but it's the relationship piece. So if we went around and did surveys, we would negatively affect our relationship with them because it's like we're out, you know, fishing for their what are considered to be their taxpayers. So you have to kind of, to me, we ended up picking up twice. We did. I got them to give us chunks of property. First, that one little sub that went in, and then I got them to expand it and go to State Line, Lewis, and over to one section, which would look like if 7th went all the way through, from 7th to 9th is still Beach Parks. If that begins to be developed residentially, Beach Park has said we can then apply and they'll let us take that in. If it's commercial, they want it. It's zoned commercial. So there's, at one point there was going to be like a pharmacy there maybe. So they wanted to hold on to that because it's more tax value, and they couldn't, it's their property. At the time, District 2 supposedly was dissolved. Winthrop Harbor supposedly didn't want any of the property. So the property at that time, and this is like 50 years ago, went to Beach Park because they would take it. And so at this point, they have it. So the way to me to do it is to keep building the relationship wait for the economy to turn around a little bit, and then start working it again. And you got a pretty good argument saying we want to go Lewis all the way down to the end, because it's a nice squared off section and it's harder for people to know, in effect, where they're living. So it's much more confusing the way it is now. If you could square it off, it would be much easier for everybody. So I think you got a reasonable argument, but it's a bad time to be presenting that.
Well, we also wouldn't find ourselves in a situation where we owe $78,000 because there's so much confusion with how property taxes are collected and then dispersed.
Well, we owe 70,000 because we got hundreds of thousands from them.
Yeah.
So we ended up with bunches of taxes. The 78 was part of it too.
But you're going to get it anyway when you annex.
That's what I'm saying. If we were to annex it back, we would get it legally.
No, they would still be paying that to Beach Park.
This is property we annexed.
It's their bonds.
They voted for those bonds, so therefore they have to fill that obligation.
Of the money they give me,
So
I
anymore
gotta
we
give
annex
them
in,
back a
that
piece.
number goes up. So if we annex in more Beach Parks district land, now we've got to pay what all those people were paying Beach Park to them also.
For the bonds.
Until the bond's up.
But what happens is if a piece of property generates $5,000 in taxes, maybe 200 of that I have to give back to Beach Park. I haven't been giving them that part back.
Where do we get the information on their bonds?
The auditor does this when he does the audit.
That's
Okay.
where it was found.
Okay, and that would be by going to their school board meetings and seeing?
No.
No, the auditor does it. Our auditor, he's able to get with probably the tax people at the county
Okay,
and get the numbers from them.
okay.
But if they give us 5,000 in taxes, there's a piece of that I have to give back. So they give me all their taxes and then a small portion, the portion that's the bond part. They still pay for the operation part, they still pay for the education part, they still pay for the transportation part, they don't pay the bond part. When Dan had that all broken out, that bond piece is the piece I gotta give them back, and we haven't been giving them.
Do we know how many more years those bonds are?
No,
So that would be nice.
Yeah.
but I can get that.
We'll find that out when we talk to them.
Yeah, the auditors will tell us, but I'm thinking it's probably out of the middle school.
And did the auditor say why it was, he's doing it 4 years later?
He didn't say why, he didn't tell us 3 years ago either, no. He just said it's something that we need to be paying, and it comes up in the audit, so. Nope.
Out of curiosity, the houses that you're talking about that got annexed in, they were not built when Beach Park Middle School was built. That property wasn't even there yet. Mackey hadn't even moved in yet.
There's other pieces of property, so if you go along State Line Road,
Okay.
the house is there, and then if you go along Lewis, the house is there, and then there was another section that was taken in earlier. That's a subdivision over around 11th or 12th.
Yeah.
That was part of that also.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I was thinking, how are they doing that when they didn't vote for anything?
Yeah, no, it was
And
the
they-
other. Okay, flexible benefit plan document.
We've been doing flexible benefits. We haven't had a plan document. The company we're working with has agreed to put one together for us.
So it's just something we'll
Yep.
review for adoption for next month. Board policies not in here. You're gonna get those out on Friday with phone call?
Yes, the website has been down and we haven't been able to copy them. It's been down all last week and this week, so we're still trying to get them for people.
Okay. All right, so next item is action items, tentative 2011 tax levy. So I'll be looking for a motion to approve the tentative 2011 tax levy for a 20-day public review.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. Any discussion?
Can you repeat again what the tax levy request increase will be?
6.71, is that right?
6.71%?
Yeah,
Okay.
but we won't get any more than 1.5.
It'll probably be, if the increase in property could take it over 1.5, but it'd probably be like 6,
Right.
7. But you're always afraid that you're gonna ask too little. So.
Any other discussion? Can you take roll, please?
Leach, Thompson,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Zimmerman,
Yes.
Lambert,
Yes.
Giorgio,
No.
Heine.
Yes.
Next item, audited annual financial report for year ending June 2011. That's what we were just talking about, where they found where we owed Beach Park the money. We're basically just accepting the report from the auditors. So at this point, I'll be looking for a motion to accept the audited annual financial report for year ending June 30th, 2011.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Dan?
Thompson,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Zimmerman,
Yes.
Lambert,
Yes.
Giorgio,
Yes.
Heine,
Yes.
Leach.
All right, you're looking for a motion to change December board meeting from, it was originally the 12th to the 19th, and that has to do with the tax levy. We need 20 days of review before we can adopt it, otherwise we'll have to have a special board meeting to adopt it. We're going to have it done before the second to last Tuesday?
Last Tuesday.
Last Tuesday in December.
And 20 days in between.
We're going to need 20 days in between, so that's the date we came up with. So we'll be looking for a motion to change December board meeting from the 12th to the 19th.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Dan?
Young,
Yes.
Zimmerman,
Yes.
Lambert,
Yes.
Giorgio,
No.
Heine,
Yes.
Leach. Thompson,
Yes.
CEDAW line of credit resolution.
They asked us to do it, we went through and passed it, and then they came through and said, well, there was different language, and so they're asking us to do it over again, so you have it back on again.
Basically, it's the same thing we voted on last month.
To allow them to borrow money to operate because they can't do TAWs like we do.
And they promised that next year it'll all be together in one step. So at this moment, I'll be looking for a motion to approve the CEDAW line of credit resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Dan, can you vote?
Zimmerman,
Yes.
Lambert,
Yes.
Giorgio,
Yes.
Heine, Leach. Thompson,
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
And board policies, looking for a motion to approve board policies 5285, 5320, 620, and 640.
So moved.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to ask to separate these.
Which one did you want separated out?
Number 2.
Actually, I have a motion to vote on them together, so I guess we can't. It's only the consent agenda items we can separate, right? I believe.
I think those are the only ones that you have the responsibility to do that too.
Okay. All right, so no, sorry, I can't do that. Any other discussion? Dan, can you go please?
Lambert,
Yes.
Giorgio,
No.
Heine,
Yes.
Leach. Thompson,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
And we have the superintendent.
Call it up there. You guys have a meeting December 5th, and remind you to bring your calendars, because that's when all the dates are going to be set for the superintendent hiring piece. Information policies, you'll get the Friday phone call. We had a bullying meeting last Monday, and it went well with a number of the parents and that were concerned with it. Also, the chief was there, chief of police, and another officer. Karen Shelton was there, the teaching staff. And the parents discussed a number of their concerns, and probably the biggest concern was consistency with discipline. PTO sale was, they made $1,700 with the event they had at the gym here on the weekend. And so that was a real successful one. And I put in the last Friday's phone call, I don't know if I shared with everybody, the after-school program, before and after-school, Latchkey is doing real well financially for us. So, and one of the things that I talked with a couple board members before about is that potentially, if the board wanted to try at some point, like a preschool program, and offer that as well, if you have some money from this program, it kind of gives you a little bit of security And sometimes you can start something not knowing for sure if you're going to make enough money in the beginning because you've got some money in the bank from the other program. So it allows you to grow things a little bit. It's something to look at in the future. I think probably about $6,000 up on that before and after school program at this point. I have to buy some materials for them, some games and some things for them to be using. But so far it's going real well. That's it.
That's it. Okay. So if there's nothing else, I'll be looking for a motion to adjourn. I'll second. Go ahead and call roll.
Jojo,
Yes.
Heine,
Yes.
Leach, Thompson,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Zimmerman,
Yes.
Lambert.
Yes.
Use the consent agenda in order to